Y'all, so let's talk about limited beliefs, right? So I know that we're getting a lot of downloads coming in. I know we're getting a lot of missions, opportunities, things that are coming up that we need to act on. But we also have some really limited limitations on ourselves that we're putting on ourselves, right? Because only we can put limitations on ourselves. Like the world is infinite, like infinite possibilities are possible. The only limitations that we have are the ones that we put on ourselves. And I know that we are doing so well in not putting as many limitations on ourselves as we used to, as we once did, but we got to step it up a notch. It's just that time. I was in my meditation today and it was just so clear to me, like how we are finally starting to believe in ourselves, right? So all of these things have come in, all of these things that we know we're supposed to be doing, but it just took us some time to get comfortable with it. It took us some time to really start believing in what we're doing, and now we are really starting, like it's really happening, right? So at first we're like, we believe, right? Looking side eye. We believe, right? Not really, but we took the last about month to really start tuning those fine tuning those keys, and now we're at the point where we're like really starting to believe in ourselves. So that's super exciting, and I'm super proud of us because it's like happening, right? So I know you guys feel it. I feel it. It's really happening. Like we really are removing the limitations that we've placed on ourselves from adolescence. We're really starting to remove those blocks and those blockades that were keeping us from having full belief in our capabilities, our mission here, what we're supposed to be doing. And now those blocks are coming down. Now we're actually knowing that anything that we put our minds to, anything that we actually believe, anything that we know for sure is going to happen for us, those things are actually starting to happen, or we can see our comfortability in the knowing, right? So a lot of the times when something new comes up, we get real uncomfortable because it's the unknown that makes us uncomfortable. We always want to be in control, right? So when we start to release that and start being like, you know what, I don't have to have control over everything, especially the only thing I can control is myself and my energy. I can't control my circumstances and the situations that I'm necessarily placed in, but I can control how I respond to those situations and circumstances. We know that life is, all about 99% about how we react and only 1% about what's actually really going on. So now that we know the only thing that we can control is our energy, we're really starting to hone in on that and letting go of everything that we really can't control. But in letting go of that control and just walking into that unknown with confidence and walking into that unknown with a sense of knowing, really, right? Because you're walking into the unknown. You don't know what the hell is going to happen next. You don't know what's going on as far as like the next step in the journey or what you're going to encounter on a day-to-day basis, but you're walking into it with a knowing that I know that all things happen as they should. I know that all things are happening, for my better good and happening for a reason. I know all of these things. And since I know all of these things, I can walk into the unknown with some, assurance, really, like reassurance that I might not know all that's how it's going to play out, but I know what I'm supposed to be doing. I know that I'm walking on the right path. I know that I'm following spirit and I'm following the most high. So I know everything's going to work out. So it's like a knowing that all things are happening for your good and for your benefit, and a knowing that all things are going to work out as we walk into a unknowing of the day to day, an unknowing of like what, you know, situations and events that we actually might be placed in and have to navigate. So we don't know that. And we used to be really uncomfortable in not knowing that because we wanted to control everything. But now that we are letting go of that control, the unknown is not as uncomfortable. It's becoming more comfortable for us. And that's really exciting because that means that we are doing the work to do that. Like, the only limitation, we can do anything it is that we want to do. The only thing that limits us, is this freaking mind of ours, right? Our belief system. That's the only thing that's limiting us. So if you think about it, the things that are coming in, when they're coming in, think about it like this. When the downloads are coming in, it's the path of least resistance, right? So you may be watching a video, you may be doing something, you may be thinking about something you want to do. In any circumstance or situation, you'll hear like, you can do that. Just a soft, subtle, like, you can do that, or you should do that, or yeah, you could do. It's just a knowing inside of you. Like, when you first hear whatever it is that you're supposed to be doing, it's like you have no doubt. There's no uncomfortableness at all when it's presented to you. Like, this is what you are. This is your gift. This is your capabilities, or these are your capabilities. And this is what we're going to do next with your powers and your gifts. This is the next step. When you hear it, it's so clear. It's so like, I can do that. Yeah. It's no hesitation. It's no doubt. It's no fear. You actually get a little excited about it, right? You're like, oh, okay, I'm getting downloads. I know what I'm supposed to be doing. This is exciting. And then all of these little ideas start running through your head, and you're thinking about all of these different things and how you can do whatever it is that you just heard, right? And so that's a wonderful thing. And then what happens? Then the human self, then the brain, then the thing that tries to limit us, then our programming, right, that we've gotten from being children, and we've been programmed. The world has programmed us to not believe in ourselves, to not believe in all things. Then that comes in, and now you have a little worry. Now you have a little doubt. Now you have a little fear. That those things come up. But when you first heard it, when you first felt like this is what you were supposed to be doing, you didn't have any of that. Right? You didn't have any of that. It just felt good in that moment. And then all of a sudden, here it goes. Here comes the limitations. Here comes the doubts and the fears. That's when we have to really get in warrior mode, because we've already, in that bliss that we got, the message, the delivery of the mission or the next step, when we received it, it was so calm and peaceful and motivating. And then immediately after, it's like, but can you really do that? Was that me? Or is that you, spirit? Or was that just me? Is that something that I just want? Or is that something that you're guiding me to do? I have no idea. I'm so confused. I don't feel connected. All of that, like, right? And that's not the way you got it. When you first got it, it was so like, oh yeah, I could do that. I could do that. Not a problem. And then here comes the limiting beliefs. And it's your fault, but it's not your fault, because it's only your fault if you don't change it. It's not your fault, the reason that you have these limiting beliefs, because we all have those. Because society has placed limitations on us since we were children. Society has taken the imagination away. And without the imagination, how is anything possible? If you can't imagine it, you cannot get it. If you can't think it first, if you can't believe it first, it won't come to you. It won't be. If you think it's not, it's not. If you think it is, it is. So with that mind state, when we have children and when we are children, we always put those limitations on us. Oh, that's your imaginary. That's your imagination. That's an imaginary thing that you're seeing. That's not real. No, you can't do this. We have to do that. We have to go to work. We have to go to school. We have to get a degree, and then we have to get a job, and then you get the white picket fence with the family, and you get the American dream, right? And so we train ourselves, we train our children, we train the world to limit themselves, to limit their beliefs, to say that not all is possible, and you're only limited. You're limited to what you can be and what you can achieve out here. So that's just what's been trained. We've been trained for that, right? That's not our fault. But if we don't decide to change it, if we don't decide that that's not the case, that we've been lied to, that's not the truth, and we don't decide to like make that change as far as the way we process thoughts and what we believe about ourselves, then it is our fault at that point. Because I'm here to tell you that once you unlock that and once you truly start to believe in yourself, all things are possible. Anything is possible. Any single thing that you want to do is possible. And you already are born with every single thing that you need, all of the skills that you need to do what it is that you are thinking about doing. You just have to remove the limited belief system that you've placed on yourself, right? And I'm in that process. And I'm going to tell you guys, just like this channel here, like when I started this channel, it's about to be 30 days tomorrow, I believe. And then when I started this channel, I had like so many, because I'm always talking to people and always helping people. And I've been doing that for some years now. So I just wanted to like reach a broader audience and like help people, like, a broader audience, right? So I'm like, I was watching a YouTube video, and like I do, I watch a whole lot of YouTube videos, right? And so I'm watching one and my spirit just so gently was like, you can do that. And I'm like, yeah, I can do that. Oh, you know what? I'm going to start me a YouTube channel and I'm going to do this and it's going to be wonderful. And everybody, all my, I'm going to get my tribe, we're going to be a collective and we're going to help each other. And it's going to be so wonderful and it's going to be so great. And I was super excited about it. I made like 6 videos before I posted my first one. And then when I finally did post my first one, I'm like being real conscious of like, let me not say this. I don't want to ruffle no feathers. I don't want like somebody to start watching it and then they decide they don't want to watch it because I said this or that. They don't agree and all of this and that. So I put myself through about a 30-day trial and error on my own self, right? And then like even in the beginning, I kept saying, well, if it's this conflicting, right? It feels more like work. This is always supposed to feel like the best thing ever that you're doing. You're putting so much pressure on yourself that it's starting to feel like work. It's starting to feel the pressure of it. And I don't feel like it's supposed to be like this. When you heard it, you were excited. You were like, yes, I can do this. And now all of a sudden you're putting all of this pressure on yourself and you might as well just not do it at this point because it's more of a hassle. It's more work. It's more like work that you have to put yourself through in a spiritual aspect because now you have to fight the fear, fight the rejection, fight all of these emotions that are coming up surrounding it. It's easier to just not do it. So that was like the first week, and I'm contemplating. I'm like, you know what? Ain't nobody watching this shit anyway. I'm about to just stop, right? And my spirit said, give it 30 days, give it 30 days, give it 30 days. And so of course, because we're like microwave generation, in my head, I'm like, oh, in 30 days, I'm gonna blow up. Or y'all watch 30 days. Everybody gonna be seeing my channel. I'm gonna be a star, whatever. So 30 days has passed and not much has changed, and I'm very appreciative of everybody who has, tunes in and is getting anything out of what I'm talking about here, right? But I'm telling you guys about my, what I'm going through, right? Because we're all going through it together, but this is what I'm going through. So as I approach the 30 days, I'm like, well, not much has changed, Spirit. So I know you said give it 30 days, you know what I'm saying? And I'll keep doing it, for these 30 days. But if I don't figure out like what's going on and the energy surrounding it doesn't change, then there's no point for me to do it because I felt like it's more work for me to do it than not to do it. I was doing just fine before I decided to start this channel. I was doing just fine my spiritual journey, keeping myself aligned and centered and grounded, right? Then I start what I'm hearing I'm supposed to be doing. It came so naturally and easy to me. I'm thinking this got to be it. And then my spirit's like, girl, you just started. Give it 30 days. Give it 30 days. And so this whole time, like, I'm going back and forth. I'm going roundabout. Like, is this worth it? Like, I was so much and more at peace. And now all I'm worrying about is, oh my gosh, are they gonna like me? Or oh my gosh, am I gonna say something that, that resonates with the right people? I'm going to reach the people that I'm supposed to be reaching. Like, what is the purpose of this? I was doing better before, spiritually, before I even got here. Now I have to put myself through something. Now I have to work through some more challenges emotionally surrounding this damn channel. And I'm like, it's not worth it, right? So that was the first week. My spirit's like, give it 30 days, give it 30 days, right? And then it just hit me all of a sudden now as I'm getting into the 30 days, now that that's going to be here tomorrow. And I'm like, okay, it's 30 days. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, I started going back and like looking at the videos that I originally posted and how like they were like really short and they were like really like, say this and don't say that and be careful. You don't want to, rub anybody the wrong way. You don't want to, I was going through the motions of like starting something new and being uncomfortable and being in that unknown and not knowing what's going to happen and being afraid and putting limitations on myself all the while I'm doing it, right? So that's what I was doing. And then about a few days ago, I realized, oh my gosh, like I'm just getting up here. I'm much more comfortable. I'm much more open. I'm just telling what I'm going through. I'm just giving my spiritual journey. I'm just talking about, and I know it's a collective. I know that I will, reach my people. I will reach the people that resonate with it and that I'm supposed to touch. I will touch them. We will communicate. We will, and I'm not worrying about as far as like when that happens and who sees it and what they think. And so through the 30 days, while I'm hearing my spirit say, give it 30 days, while originally I'm thinking, okay, spirit, we about to blow up in 30 days and we're going to be helping so many people. And that's such a wonderful thing. Then I realized that the 30 days was for me. That 30 days was for me to get comfortable. That 30 days was for me to remove the limited beliefs that I put on myself surrounding the situation. That's what the 30 days was for. The 30 days was for me, not for what was going to happen per se as far as a channel, just for me and being comfortable and being my authentic self and not worrying about what people think and what their opinions are about what I'm saying, and knowing that I'm doing this because when I heard it, that I can do it, there was no resistance to it. There was no hesitation. There was no doubt. There was no fear. I got excited. I had thoughts and ideas and downloads. And then as soon as that time passed, and that was only in one setting, one day that I feel that way, everything from that became work. Everything from that became more of a struggle. Everything from that, trying to put it together was more, it was harder for me than it was like that initial thought that I had when it came and said, oh, you can do that when you were watching the video. Ever since then, it just seemed like more work. I was so worried about it. I was like trying to people please, I felt like, or make sure that I didn't say this or that, or, and that's not the way that it should be. That's not even the thought that I had when I originally stated that I was going to start making the channel. I knew that I was going to talk to you all like I talked to my homegirls, like, about when we talk about spiritual things, the same way that I talk to them. My belief system wasn't gonna change at all. I wasn't gonna like hold back. I don't hold back with them. I spit facts, whatever, what I'm saying? The real. So when I felt like in starting this channel, I was kind of like holding back and like worried about like what people were gonna think. And I realized at that point, I was putting limitations on myself. I was saying like what I have to say is not like divinely connected with source when it is, because before I do any of these videos, I always go into a meditation. I'm always seeking for source to guide me and allow me to be used to say what it is that, Source would like the tribe to hear, the collective to hear, whoever it is that is supposed to touch, to be touched by it, right? And I know that that's what my mission and my goal was, but I started worrying about if people were going to like me, the success of the channel, if people were going to watch it, if they were going to resonate with it, if they were going to, and then that started me down like a spiral of, you might as well just not do it because it's not worth all of what you're putting yourself through. And now I don't give a I don't care if I know that who is meant to reach is going to reach in its divine timing. And I'm not even worried about the timing. Now I'm so much more comfortable speaking to you guys, talking to you guys, and like just coming out and saying whatever it is I feel led to say. And before, I'm like I was still saying what I felt led to say, but I was also like trying to like put it in a pretty bow, or like, do it in a way where I felt like, but y'all was gonna see through that anyway, right? Because the spirit, the energy, you can't lie. You feel it. You feel it, So I'm like, y'all was gonna see through that anyway, that I was holding back, And then I'm thinking like, okay, give it 30 days. It's going to be so successful. But I needed a whole 30 days just to get comfortable. I needed the 30 days just to be able to sit in my own skin with comfortability and a sense of knowing that it's going to reach the people that it's supposed to reach. It's going to touch who it's supposed to touch. And at that point, it was like I removed all the fear surrounding it. I removed all the limitations surrounding it. And now I'm just allowing. Now I'm in the process of just allowing Source to use me, allowing myself to be a vessel, allowing myself to speak freely, allowing, whatever is that I'm feeling led to say with full confidence, and say in only a way that I can say it, because everybody has their own way. Everybody is going to connect with somebody in a different way. And you can have two people say the same thing and you can get something from both parties, and they're talking about the same topic, but they're not saying the same thing like that, right? So we're all talking about spiritual growth and development, but you can watch somebody say something about spiritual growth and development, and then somebody else say something about spiritual growth and development. They're two different types of personalities. They're going to come off different. You're going to feel the energy different. You're going to resonate with both messages differently. So all I got to do is just do my part. And so once I realized that 30 days was for me. That 30 days was for me to work through the fear that I had surrounding it. Honestly, that's just what it was, right? The limitations that I was putting on myself, because in that 30 days, I projected a lot of negative energy surrounding it. I'm supposed to be doing something good, but I'm so worried and afraid and nervous about it that I couldn't even allow the correct energy to flow from it, if that makes sense. So that's, and I got a whole nother part to this. I'm going to do a 2-part on this one, right? Because this is just so, oh my gosh, y'all. I got so much to tell y'all because I got to let you know everything. Now I'm just open. I'm an open book now. So now I got to tell y'all what's been really going on and like what I'm really going through. And I know that it's going to touch the people that's supposed to touch, and the people that's supposed to resonate, it will resonate with it. I have no doubt about it, in its own perfect time. And I don't even care when that timing is. I kept looking at it like, how many views? How many this? What is it? Girl, it don't matter. Let it go. And once you let it go, I already know. Well, first of all, I was led to do this. So I already know, even if only a small amount of people view it, those small amount of people are going to be the people that need it. And it's going to have an impact on them. I already know that. Like, that's a thing that I know. So now I'm just going to focus on what I know and focus on my mission, and then just allow now, right? Stop limiting myself, because I'm limiting my situation. I'm limiting my opportunity by putting all of that worry, doubt, and fear on it, right? It's pretty much saying I'm incapable of doing it by doing that. And that's furthest from the truth, right? So I was a wonderful experience, a wonderful 30 days for me to get to this point of knowing, for me to get to this point of being so comfortable knowing that it's going to work out in the unknowing of what the hell is going to happen. So just getting that comfortable in the unknown. Like, I have no idea. I have no idea how many people are going to see it. I have no idea when it's going to take off. I have no idea. I have no idea. But I know that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So now I can just allow. Now I can just take the pressure off of myself, right? Because we put too much pressure on ourselves when we're starting something new or we're starting something that we're unsure about. It's just too much pressure surrounding it and it's limiting us. So we have to remove the pressure, remove it off of ourselves, knowing that all things happen as they should, and don't allow yourself to hear something or feel something or know something that you're supposed to be doing, and then the brain and all its limited belief system tried to come up, and before you didn't totally reprogram the brain to not allow that to happen. So you have to be very mindful, because as soon as you start something new, as soon as you start something unfamiliar, as soon as you step into that unfamiliar territory, the brain is going to come up and say, you sure about this? You sure you want to do this? You're not feeling excited about it anymore. You're not thinking about it anymore. It's like you have to kind of force yourself into that. Like, you have to shut up. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Right? Because in that moment when I heard it, there was no resistance. There, you're creating the resistance. You are the one that's creating the limitation and the resistance. So what we have to do is stop that. And it does take some practice, and it honestly just takes some awareness. First, be aware that you're doing it, and then just stop it and say, if this is what the Most High has for me, it's going to work out. Stop trying to be in control of time. Take time out of it, because like I said, we're a microwave generation. So as soon as we start something, we want it instant. We want to see results right away. That's why most people can't lose weight, because you got to put a lot of work into it before you even start to see a little tiny bit of results. So it's like that. You got to put a lot of work into it before you start seeing some results, but it's well worth it. Don't you feel better? Don't you feel lighter? Don't you feel freer? When you start working out, you start eating healthier, your body, even in the beginning, you might not see it, but you feel it, right? So that's the way that it works. You might not see the effort that you're putting in on the spiritual journey. Like, you might not see it manifest into a 3D physical realm, but you feel it. Just like when you start working out or eating healthy, you won't just do it for a week and then you skinny. No, you got to work out. You got to keep doing this. Take months and months and sometimes years to get to the goal that you're trying to achieve, right? But you feel good in the meantime. You feel so light and free and good. And that's the same way with the spiritual journey. You have to feel it first. You have to know it. Like, just because you working out every day, you're going to lose the weight eventually. It ain't happened today, but that don't mean you stop working out. That don't mean you stop eating healthy, right? It's a journey. It's a process. It takes time. And that's the same thing with this, right? It's a process. It's a journey. So when you start whatever it is that you're going to do, you have to know that. Like, this is a process. This takes time. This is a journey, and just be aware of what you're putting out surrounding the new opportunity, circumstance, or event, mission. Just be very aware of the energy that you put out surrounding it once you start it, because you don't want to hinder it. You don't want to put a knot in your thread, right? And slow the process down of you getting to the destination. You don't want to stretch the thread out and make it an even longer process, because you're going to get there. But the way that you're putting the limitations and the way that we put those limitations and beliefs on ourselves, it just keeps us from getting to the destination. It just takes us a little longer. We're going to get there. It just takes us a little longer, or we go through a little bit more turmoil inside with our emotions, because we're not being mindful enough of them, and we're not nipping it in the butt right away. So if you heard it, first of all, do it. Once you start doing it, remove the limitations that you are naturally going to bring up and think about yourself surrounding the circumstance that you're in, the situation.
Someone was detected at your front door.
Somebody's leaving. Okay. So just be very mindful of that. And then also, okay, so one, do it, right? I got to start over. Sorry. One, do it. Two, be very mindful of the thoughts that you put out surrounding what you're doing, the new thing that you're doing. And then so you can remove all those limitations and just know that it's not your timing, it's divine timing. Right? And it's going to happen when it's supposed to happen. So there's nothing for you to worry about. There's nothing for you to fear. There's nothing. Don't project negativity on a positive situation. All of this is positive, right? So that's what we want to project. And then stay tuned for part 2 because I want to tell you guys about what I heard. what Spirit told me about me, and I was like freaking out, y'all. But I'm gonna share it with you guys because I know it's something that I'm supposed to share. So stay tuned for part 2. What do they say? Follow, like, subscribe, comment down below, all that jazz. Until I see y'all again, beautiful souls, have a wonderful rest of the day.